Chaos has always tried to corrupt the material world, and where to best find vessels but in the willing accomplices of the traitor legions. Some believe obliterators are the byproduct of a heretical quest to embody the Omnissiah, whilst others think they are infected with a demonic technovirus. Whatever creates them, they are a blasphemy against nature and machine god alike. Oh, poor Volk, often ridiculed because of his, let's call it, outfit, and despite his tough exterior, his utter lack to take a single hit, all the while not even hitting like a truck. Laugh no more, the time of Volk has come, and with this patch rises a mighty champion of chaos that won't stand your laughter no more. Hi, it's Taktifux, and on today's excursion into the warp, we'll examine the specimen named Volk. Hideously mutated by the forces of chaos, Volk has been bulged up to monstrous size, his armor plates barely fitting anymore. Cancerous growths enlarge his body and give him a platform for the heavy guns he's outfitted with. Utterly fused to his armor, eyes, teeth and tentacles adorn it, and let's be honest, that can't be comfortable at all. Volk is a rare character that you can get by farming his shards in the Fall of Cadia mirror campaign. Before the rework, Volk had one of the worst health characteristics in-game. This has been remedied by almost doubling it. Now only Corodius has more health than him, and he stands before the notable bulky Snotflogger and Tyrant Guard. His armor was also considerably enhanced by 20%, but with that ill fit you can guess it's still not huge. Before it was last place, and now it's in the 4th worst along the lines of notably frail Holland. When some doctor in a lab coat has more armor than you are wearing it wrong. His bulk will take the damage, not his armor. This is still great, and as there are characters with low damage but high pierce, those will have a hard fight against him. His big target, while ensuring he doesn't benefit from defensive terrain, at least helps to defend the fighters around him. The demon trait gives him a 25% block chance, but as this relies on his attack stat, which isn't too high due to the 6 hits, this won't spare you much damage. Still, it's nice to have, seeing as he can only be equipped with the defensive equipment alongside his 2 crit equipments. Volk is slow as a snail at a pace of only 2 hexes. This is mitigated somehow by his range 3 heavy round shooting attack, which features an incredible 6 hits. His melee attack of 4 power hits is less impressive, coming in at place 73 against infinite armor, stuck between Snapper and Revas, which are equally not known for their melee prowess. Against no armor, he's the 85th place, a little lower than Toth, and you know how pathetic Toth's hits are. Enough complaining about his huge fists though, the cannon on his back is the main attraction anyways. And now he's 15 out of 48 against no armor, and even going up to place 11 against high armor with his 50% pierce ratio. His suppression trait weakens enemies' hit, helping with his defenses a little and slowing enemies down with his high range. Heavy weapons increases his damage further if he didn't move and, well, moving isn't his strong suit anyways. Would he be a machine of war nowadays? Who knows. As all members of the Black Legion, he has a 33% chance to add despoiled ground to enemy hexes he hit and score an additional hit, guaranteeing that extra hit if the enemy already stands on despoiled ground. As despoiled ground deals 6 to 9% of the enemy's health as direct damage each round too, this is great ship damage on top. As he's quite flexible with his attack targets, killing an enemy and adding despoiled ground to his hex next to another fighter can help increase your ally's damage output too. Sounds good? It gets better. The old flash metal guns? Pah! Adding a bit of damage but only at a chance? Now you always deal 2 more hits of various damage types each round. On the first turn, it's an extra melter damage around 50% stronger than your normal hits, with a 75% pierce ratio. Round 2, extra flame hits. Nice, adding flame hexes in a controlled matter can help the Forge Fiend and your allies in the Thousand Suns. Round 3 is 2 extra hits of heavy round damage, but guaranteed adding the spoiled ground, helping your allies damage foes and ensuring chip damage. Those are extra hits to his normal attacks, meaning you basically have an 8-hit character in all but name that will greatly profit from buffs. Opposite to his old frenzied firing that didn't profit from flash metal gun and only dealing 6 hits, to be fair, at around 3.5 times the damage of a normal attack between all enemies within range 3 for a damage potential of 4536 damage, you now deal 1 hit at around 2.5 times the damage to a chosen target in range 3 and all adjacent enemies. The initial target gets an extra hit for every 3 hex adjacent to them. Normal enemies will get a maximum of 7 hits this way for a potential 4494 damage. Pretty much as before, but you can deal up to 10 extra hits against multi-hex enemies that way. This is way better than it sounds though, as the 2 extra hits from flash metal guns will be used against every fighter hit. You can decide, one focused hit or many middling ones, all with the additional effect. This can turn up to 7 hexes to fire to help Ahriman, or turn them all into the spoiled ground, while doing good damage against multiple enemies. With Abaddon, it will also melt a lot of enemies. And lastly, you can hit enemies in range 4 with it, as only the initial target needs to be in range 3. I love the reworked abilities, as they offer so much more room for strategies and can be used very targeted if you know them well. Both active and passive are good and can safely be invested in. If you want to tread lightly, go for the passive more, as this will inadvertently also increase his active's damage, especially if you target a lot of enemies. Where will you see Volk? I wouldn't be surprised to see him in defending lineups in Guild Wars, due to his bulk and the potential of helping out his Chaos allies. He could also be good at guild raids now, if that range team ever comes together. I mean, 8 hits that can profit from buffs and heavy weapon which gets a buff really easy from Thaddeus. This could be a great combination. If only we had a really fitting machine of war to help the team out. He can of course help in campaigns, but is hardly needed there with the amount of great Chaos characters already out there. My focus is always on legendary events, which we'll delve into a little deeper. Volk before was sad. Not because of missing potential, but because his paper-thin defenses ensured he would never be used if you weren't forced to. Demon is too rare to be used. If we ever need to bring all Black Legion, he'll of course be in for better or worse. 6 hits were always interesting, as without Xenos there are only 6 characters with 5 hits and up, and without the Imperium there are 10 with 5 hits and 7 with 6. Suppressive fire doesn't work without the Imperium, and without Xenos, Volk is mandatory. Heavy round equally is 5 characters without the Imperium, and only 4 without the Xenos. And power, as we all know, isn't exactly rare, except in no Imperium tracks, where it only has 11 characters. Well, Taktifuchs, nothing much changed here, right? Well, it did in fact. Not only is Volk much more survivable, although he'll need a healer and he won't summon either, so he isn't a prime candidate in any fashion, but adding Flame really makes him stand out. Add 9 characters without Xenos and 7 characters without the Imperium. Melter is just too rare at a total of 3 characters yet, but should you ever need it for a mission, he's your guy. Heavy Weapon is great at only 7 characters without Xenos, and could become relevant soon at the moment 4 characters without the Imperium. So yeah, you won't necessarily want to take him, as he's not that good in horde modes apart from shining for his actives turn, but he does bring a lot of traits where you will need him, or at least like to have an option. Especially with the improved defenses, this doesn't feel as bad anymore, and one mustn't forget that characters with a lot of requirements met will have an easier time being used in battles where you try to go for multiple bonus points at once. I still don't think he'll be all that essential for most people's day-to-day gameplay. There's already plenty good Chaos characters. If you believe in an upcoming ranged guild raid team, I think he will be excellent. In all other cases, only invest it if you're lacking his traits for a legendary event where you're missing crucial characters, or just like the few. If you found this review entertaining or helpful, let me know in the comments below and consider using my referral code BAD60edu to help me out in game. Please also consider subscribing and sharing around my videos. Oh, and should you want to take your chances, follow the link on screen to the Gleam raffle, so you can win some awesome prizes. Please use my raffle code FOXMES25. This is not an in-game code and only works for some entries in that draw. Good luck to you all. Back to Volk. There's currently no relic that he can equip. We can have a look at his mythic missions though. For his first mission, we need to defeat 4 enemies on fire hexes in 1 turn. This is fairly straightforward. Hex effects are added after the attack sadly, so you will have to set the fire some other way. Your biggest problem will be finding enemies that don't die to your attacks, but you can easily set 3 fire hexes with the Forge Fiend in Arena, buff yourself with Abaddon, take either Ahriman or any other fire setter like Vindicta to set the 4th hex on fire. You need some bunched up enemies to do this, but an active to their middle should settle things. You can also do it in Onslaught with multiple fire setters, Ahriman being the first amongst them as he can set 2 hexes ablaze instead of just 1. 2 as always requires you to deal damage, and it's 9,000 of it. I feel like this, with a few buffs and a weak enough guild raid boss, should be no problem at all here, and in Arena, depending on the health of the enemies you face, it should even work there. Take Thaddeus and Abaddon to buff Volk as much as you can and melt some foes. Equally, Mission 3 asks you to overkill 100 enemies. You can just farm some Voxcasters anywhere in the Fall of Cadia campaign, and it will only cost you 6 energy doing so. 4 becomes harder again, as killing 2 overwatching enemies in 1 turn is a tough task. The regular overwatching enemies you will encounter are less cannons, which have the same range as you and will fire their overwatch if you draw near. The 1 turn is rarely a problem here, as if they are close enough to fire, the enemies won't go into overwatch anyways. I would tell you to send an infiltrating unit in with him to prohibit their firing, but there is no Chaos Infiltrate unit in game that could help here. Maybe there's some contrived way of level where Archimatos can help us by summoning his bloodletters. Legendary events with Tau Fire Warriors, Eliminators or less cannons could of course also help, as could Wraithguard. Lastly, we could do it with Arena, but would need to get lucky with the enemies we face, and let's be blunt, 2 Overwatch characters is rare, and having them stand next to each other could be a difficult task. The only one that's always there is Revas, but you need to find the perfect turn and additionally kill his drones. Then it hit me. Wraithguard only have a range of 2. If we find a level where 2 are close, we could do it there. Like, only one of them needs to be in range 3. Look, Simhan Mirror Elite 16 has 2 Wraithguards standing close together. We need them to get closer together without triggering their overwatch. Let's only take 3 characters and redraw to one side. All bunch together, shoot the Wraithguard and done. I had some warriors go to a hex adjacent to Volk once, but you can just kill them with the other fighters. Lastly, we need to do damage again. It luckily isn't doing damage of every kind he can do, which would be a lot of tasks, but just damage flat, which should go by fast. Volk really had a glow up. A Dark Down? He's cool now. I like him now. What do you think? Watch some more stuff, smash the like button like Volk would with his heavy meaty fists, and have a wonderful day.